The alphabet. It's got 26 letters, so that means 26 indie games. Duh. We've got some cult classics, some personal faves, and some titles I still haven't played yet, but know probably belong on this list. But first, I've got something pretty special for the Animal Well fans in the audience. This video is brought to you by Lost in Cult, who just announced their Animal Well Design Works book. Made in collaboration with Billy Basso and everyone else who worked on the game, this thing is packed full of art, early prototypes, and deep dives into the game's development journey. The pre-order campaign is open right now until July 1st for the deluxe edition, which has a bunch of extra goodies like these terrifying yet stylish prints, these wonderful pins, and this glorious purple cassette filled with the haunting sounds of the well. An equally purple LP is also available, complete with unreleased audio and ambient mixes, and I can't help but wonder, does any of this contain a new secret? I'm looking at you, suspicious glow-in-the-dark cover. You never know what could be hiding in the shadows. If any of that sounds cool to you, you can check out everything with my link down below and use the code NOCAPSAW for 5% off the entire site. Thanks again to Lost in Cult for hitting me up. You guys have put out some awesome books, and I'm more than happy to share the news about this one. And this leads us very nicely into our first letter, A. I truly love Animal Well. It's one of the first games I really started making preview videos for on this channel, and I had so much fun diving into the lore and secrets and making all sorts of guides when it launched last year. The well itself is haunting and eerie and beautiful, and I thoroughly explored every single inch of it looking for hidden eggs and new tools to use in some pretty creative ways. Absolutely my favorite Metroidvania, and one of my favorite games of all time. Happy first birthday, Animal Well. Balatro completely took the world by storm. That is undeniable. I racked up over 10 hours in just the demo, and I'm not about to reveal my playtime for the full game. Sorry guys. It's the perfect blend of cards, strategy, hypnotic swirling backgrounds, and watching the numbers go up. I'm biased towards a lot of the games in this list, that's kind of the point, but this is for sure a must play. And so is Celeste if you're into platformers. It's one of the first difficult games I've ever played, and I absolutely loved the challenge. And the fact that you could tune the game to your skill level if you were having trouble in a certain level is the icing on the cake. Going on this journey up Celeste Mountain with Madeline, facing her inner fears and demons, was surprisingly moving, and I really felt like I grew right along with her. And that's why it was even more devastating to hear that XOK's upcoming game, Earthblade, was cancelled at the beginning of this year. Now, Dead Cells is one of those games I just haven't gotten around to playing yet. I had my big roguelite phase when Hades released into 1.0, and that was that. But looking back on this trailer footage, Dead Cells looks pretty awesome, and is definitely on my list of games to play. I think the fact that it also has some Metroidvania elements, though I'm not sure to what extent, is also a big selling point for me. So that's why I put Dead Cells on the list, even though I haven't played it yet. Everhood is the first and last rhythm game I ever got into, and as the Steam description says, to put it simply, you are in for a ride. The learning curve progresses perfectly, with some super trippy boss fights towards the end of the game. I also love the neon on black style, all the weird characters, and of course, the bangin' tunes. I even enjoyed it enough to complete a few of the fights hitless, and huge props to anyone who's done them all. You are much braver than I am. Fez was one of the first indie games I ever played before I really even knew that they were a thing. And let me tell you, I was not prepared for any of it. I thought I was signing up for a bright and cheery pixel platformer starring the Pillsbury Doughboys' average-sized cousin. But then I quickly found myself falling deeper and deeper into the Fez rabbit hole. Yeah, I looked most of the puzzle stuff up, but that didn't hinder my experience in the slightest. The game's also got a cool vibe with these weird floating islands and other dimensions to explore, plus you get to wear a cute little fez. My first personal pick that kinda comes out of left field and that I will always recommend to anyone that'll listen, Ghost of a Tale, is the big adventure of a small mouse named Tilo. It's a stealthy exploration game set in this small interconnected castle keep that you can explore every nook and cranny of. It's charming, full of surprisingly interesting lore about this animal-filled world, and best of all, there's a sequel in the works that we should be getting some more updates on this year. Hollow Knight is the obvious choice for H. I don't really need to say more, but in case you're not familiar, this game has an incredible atmosphere, rewarding and sometimes punishing exploration, and tons of buggy boss fights. Not because they're glitchy or anything, but because you're literally fighting bugs. I slept on this one for quite a while due to the Souls-like tag, which was the wrong choice, because this is one hell of a game, and Team Cherry, you can go ahead and release Silksong now. I approve. Another incredibly easy pick goes to Inside, which ended up being a surprisingly dark and thought-provoking experience. This is one of those games where I played the demo on a whim and then immediately bought it. It's the perfect blend of simple yet engaging puzzles, beautiful chase sequences and cinematic moments, and a haunting journey deeper and deeper into a place where you do not belong, yet seem to be pulled into by some inescapable force. Journey is another game I stumbled across by accident, just like Fez, and it's such a beautiful experience. Surfing across the sand as your scarf flows behind you makes you feel like this ethereal being. The fact that you can make this journey with other players you encounter is also quite the special experience. The landscapes you travel through are gorgeous, and I'm really looking forward to playing Sword of the Sea later this year from the same artist. K is a pretty tricky one for me. I don't really think I've played any super notable games that start with the letter, so here's Kerbal Space Program because I've heard tons of great things. So, graphics aren't everything, especially when there are rockets to be launched. This is one of those games where people will play for 500 hours and say, it's okay, so there's the official review. I think Little Nightmares was the first horror game I made it all the way through. I started off with Outlast for some reason, and this is definitely turned down a notch or two, but I still wouldn't underestimate the creep factor here. It's a great game to play with someone who's even more squeamish, and this is the perfect combo of cinematic platforming and chase sequences, all with some wonderful nightmarish settings where you play as a tiny character in a big world, which is one of my favorite genres. Now, Minecraft. To be clear, I'm talking like the beta edition, very early 2010s. This was pretty much the best game ever. Action, adventure, automation, building, and sometimes horror, you could do anything in Minecraft. Perfect for an aimless, friendless middle schooler with lots of time to kill. Another one that I haven't played but still feel like it belongs in this video is Noita, unless we can count Neopets, but I'm not really doing browser games. It's a physicsy, pixely puzzle roguelite with insanely deep secrets, some of which still haven't been solved to this day. It's all very pretty, and I love the idea of experimenting with casting tons of different spells to see how they affect the environment. And the fact that there's a ton of hidden stuff makes this all sound incredibly awesome. So I think it's gotta be the time commitment required that's really holding me back. One day, though. Outer Wilds, not to be confused with The Outer Worlds, is an expertly designed solar system simulator that surprised me in so many ways. May have had to look up a few hints, but if I'd really paid attention to all the details, I totally could have done it myself. Yeah. One day after watching another "you just gotta play Outer Wilds" video, I finally cracked and bought it, and I can see why there are so many videos like that out there. I'm now extremely curious to see what Mobius Digital makes next because this is gonna be a tough game to top. This one is maybe not really an indie game, but whatever, it's got the indie spirit. Pentiment is a narrative-heavy adventure detective game with a story that completely hooked me. One of my favorite parts of the game was all the gossip you could pick up on if you chose to have optional conversations with the right people. It really made this whole village and society feel alive. It's also incredibly stylish, and there are tons of mysteries to discover. Cud, Caves of, is my totally valid pick for Q. Okay, I had to get a little creative here. It seems to be pretty much the most epic simulated civilization creator ever, but I wouldn't know, I haven't played it. Reviewers have said that this game completely ruined other games for them because it just goes so deep. Probably would be too overwhelming for me to get into personally, but I'm glad that it exists for the people who were meant to play it. Return of the Obra Dinn, yet another one I gotta play. This is a deduction-based detective game about a ship whose crew turned up to port dead. Rewind time to figure out what happened and experience the life of each person during their final moments. I'm still not sure why I've never played a game by Lucas Pope before, but maybe his catalog would be a good one to check out for my Every Game series. Skate Story will be my choice for S whenever it releases, but for now we have a true classic, Stardew Valley. Pretty obvious, I know. It's the first game I bought with my brand new shiny Steam account, and I played it everywhere I was allowed to bring my laptop. Everyone needs to play it, simple as that. In a similar vein to Stardew and Minecraft, Terraria is also too iconic to not include here. It's just one big old sandbox adventure game, and wow, it has over 1 million reviews on Steam. So much content in this game, so many mods, so much chaos. I originally thought U would be a hard one, and then I remembered UFO 50, duh. Going into this game for the first time, dusting off each and every cart, booting it up and having no idea what to expect was so fun. Like opening up 50 different presents on Christmas. Some I really vibed with, others not so much, and hearing about everyone else's favorite games was always fun too. It's wild how different our tastes can be. Plus, the metagame stuff was pretty awesome too. One game I never expected to enjoy so much was Void Souls. It was one of dozens and dozens of Steam Next Fest demos I downloaded, and this one really stuck with me, enough to play through the full game when it released. Void Souls is a top-down minimalist Souls-like, and I loved its level design, character design, all of its designs really. You can choose from a bunch of different build options, which isn't something I've ever really cared about before, but for some reason had a ton of fun doing in this game. Oh, World of Goo and your 360p trailer, you're a true classic in the world of puzzle gaming. Probably the first game I played where you could build stuff and see how the laws of physics would affect your creations. A super solid game that still holds up to this day, and I can't believe they finally made a sequel after all these years. Another pick that, yeah, breaks the rules, Boomerang X, is a stylish arena shooter with amazing enemy designs. It's a real shame that the studio shut down due to a lack of funding because this is such a tight and original experience. First-person shooter, but Boomerang. Yoku's Island Express is another fantastic Metroidvania to add to the list. The whole thing is like one big pinball board, and the world is so bright and colorful and cute that watching this trailer just makes me want to play it all over again. Just like Ghost of a Tale, I will continue to sing the praises of this game wherever I go that it's allowed. Which game will I choose for the letter Z? Katana Zero. We've got kick-ass slow-mo sword-slashing action, and the DLC that's been in the works for 6 years was recently reconfirmed. It's still in development and it'll still be free. What more could you ask for? I also haven't played this one, but I swear I will, guys. I just need more time. Phew, that was quite the video. I've had this idea for a while, but knew this would be a pretty daunting task. I'm glad I finally buckled up and got down to it because this was definitely a walk down memory lane for me. Now I'm sure there will be a lot of alternative game suggestions down in the comments for certain letters, so have at it. What's your ideal indie game alphabet? And thanks again to Lost in Colt for sponsoring this video.